Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and a new video. Guys, so many of you reached out to me in the damaged Range Rover Evoque video and said, Rob, is that for your wife, etc, etc. And we do actually have an Evoque already, and this is my missus's car. We've had it for 18 months. It's a Range Rover Evoque Dynamic. Really nice car, and to be honest, she doesn't actually want to get rid of the car. She quite likes it, but I have replaced it, and we've already got a new, but we've got a used Range Rover Sport. This car is actually sold, but there is an issue with it that I've kind of ignored for the last 6 months, and that is when you start the car up, you see it comes straight up there, SOS. It's not actually come on just yet. There you go, SOS limited system, limited functionality. So you okay that, and that completely disappears. There's not a problem with it at all. It doesn't affect the car, it doesn't affect the Bluetooth, and apparently that is what that is about, the comms unit. But it just does not affect anything on the car at all. So I spoke to the dealer and they said in the comms unit, in the boot, there is a little backup battery. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be that. So I actually replaced that. It took me 2 hours. It was quite difficult to get to, and that didn't make a blind bit of difference either. So I'm just going to jump out and actually walk around the other side and show you the other thing that they said it was. Sorry guys, I should have been a bit more prepared here and had the bonnet open. I've already had this cover off this morning, hence why it's got no clips in it. I've got them in my pocket. So down here you can see, there's the main battery. It's actually got a second battery there, and that is stop start and all the ancillaries, all the auxiliaries, all the little bits and pieces all run off of that battery. That is a backup battery, especially for the stop start. So I spoke to another technician at Land Rover and he said it could be that. So I actually went and got one of those on Saturday and I fitted it, and it took over an hour. You've got to take all this strut brace off, remove this battery. You can't get the leads out of the way until you undo all of the nuts and remove all of the leads off of the terminals. So that was a nightmare to do, but I've done it, and again it has made no difference at all. So the last thing I'm going to try, the dealer said it, disconnect the battery, leave it for 10 minutes and then do a master reset, which is touching both leads together. So we're going to try that. If that doesn't work, I'm going to have to go and have it plugged in. There is someone local who's going to do a bit of a check on it for me. If that doesn't work, it's going to have to be the dealer. So let's get that master reset done and see if that resolves this issue. So all I've done there, guys, is remove the earth from the backup battery, and the earth on this one, I've put a little plastic cover over the terminal, and again one over the live, because they're so tight. They're so tight you can't really put it anywhere without it touching the battery. So we've now got a 10-minute wait time before we actually touch those together. So while we're waiting the 10 minutes on that one, we're going to move straight on to this Golf. I've just fired it up. It's been sat here for quite a while, guys. As you know, this is one we previously just pulled together with a few second-hand bits, and we've been waiting for the V5. That's now arrived. I believe the MOT's run out, or it's running really low. So I've just been round, pumped the tyres up, got it running, just charging the battery a little bit because it was quite flat. I'm just going to pull it out, go through all the lights, wipers, washers, indicators, etc. And we're actually going to run this over for an MOT, because now we've got a logbook. There's no reason why this one can't be sold. I think I previously said 650, 84,000 miles, does need a bit of a clean out, and we're letting this one go with the little bit of damage in the door. If you remember, I put that wing on from the breaker's yard, and we put a rear corner suspension on it as well, because that was all, the back wheel was actually bent forward. So that's the plan with that little one. That should be ready to go tonight. Just come out with a lead and perform that hard reset with me. Now everything's back together. Keep your fingers crossed for me, guys. I really want this to resolve this issue. see the red triangle still up there, so that may be because, yeah, SOS limited functionality. So I'm afraid we're back to square one. Plus I've now got to settle the clock, because that's going to be wrong, isn't it? Right, let's go and get it plugged in down at the local place and see if anything comes up on there. Everything I've just done there, guys, you can do on your own car before it goes for an MOT, and it'll always save you money. I checked all the side lights, indicators, normal lights, full beam. I went round and checked all of the tyres. Inside, I don't do a lot of checks on the inside of a car at MOT. Just all the seat belts, just go right through them all, make sure they all lock in, make sure that they all clip into where they should be. And the doors, important that they open from the inside handle and the outside handle. So I've been round, checked all of this, checked the wiper blades, washer fluid, I'll top that up as well. Fuel cap, very, very important in there, that the seal's okay on it. And just went round, checked all of the lights, all the number plate lights, you can see, just about see those all lit up there. So all those checks are worth doing yourself, because it'd be a shame to get it all the way for an MOT and it failed on something silly like a side light bulb that you could have changed before you went. Let's take that for an MOT and then back to the Evoque. Guys, the MOT tester was just taking my car outside and I said, what have you got there? I know him quite well and I know he's built a few of these crazy cars before. He's got a Lexus outside with a Supra engine in it, running about 1,000 horsepower. But this is a Mark 1 Golf. You don't see many anymore. He's actually purchased a running, driving, lovely Mark 5 Golf GTI 2 litre DSG. And he is in the middle of actually converting this with that modern Golf. All the engine, running gear, everything like that is all going in this car. He's just in the process of flattening it all off to take it round the paint shop. They're going to paint the inside of it and paint the outside. And he's going to start the process of building this into a bit of a weapon by the sounds of it. So I think each time we come over, we'll follow the progress on how he's getting on with this. You don't see many of them Mark 1 Golfs anymore. So guys, that is the Golf all done, past its MOT. I've got a couple of little tiny bits I want to do to it, and then that is good to go. Just to bring up the Mini, quite a lot of you keep saying that we see it in shot. What's going on with that? Guys, we will be getting on with that soon. You know what it's like. We don't want to start this project. There's a good chance the head's got to come off. We don't know yet until we've done a compression test, but we don't want to go down the route of stripping it down and end up having it in bits along with some other bits, like the Range Rover's in pieces at the moment. We're trying to pull that together. The Evoque, I cannot go there until 3 o'clock today because I didn't have an appointment. He said, Rob, bring it about 3 o'clock when I'm closing up for the day. We get it plugged in and go through it. So we'll be doing that later on in the video. So now we're going to move on. The little Polo, as you know, I like to do 200 miles in these cars. Just snag them, just make sure there's no issues with them before we sell them and they go out the door. So I've noticed it's got a bit of a slow puncher on this front wheel. I've had to pump it up every other morning to get to and fro work in it. Also, the steering is slightly off angle, so that's going to go over and have wheel alignment. And we also noticed when we was putting the wheels on in the last video, when we're shutting it down, the brake discs are they got a big edge on them and the pads are down quite low. So for the sake of selling that car to someone and having it 100%, I've just been and ordered new discs, picked up new discs and new pads for it. So we'll move on, get the discs and pads fitted in that. very, very quick there, guys. Nice new discs and pads. And when we sell it to someone, it's so lovely. It's a nice peace of mind. You know, when you can say it's had all new brakes on it, and it is really, really nice now. It looks nice when you look through the wheel. So that's another one done. It is bang on 3 o'clock. Let's get down there in the Evoque and try to get this light out. I'm so desperate to get it turned out because the people wanted that car last week and it's just sitting there now. And to be honest, I could do with the money in my bank. So let's go and get that plugged in. Round here at Dave Patrick's Auto Electricians. And unfortunately, he doesn't want me recording. So he's going to plug it in now and go through the process. See if he can nail this for me. So guys, he is just sitting there and I've been able to get a little bit of it. He's plugged it in and gone through every single system. And it's actually coming up speaker one malfunction. So he's just going through clearing all of those codes, seeing if the fault comes back. Then he's actually, you can see now, doing a complete rescan on it to see whether it comes back up. Don't worry, I know quite a lot of these say fault, but that's quite normal at the moment. I've just left there, guys. We got exactly the same issue. He went right through the system and checked. There was no other faults apart from that, which was, do you know what? I'm going to include the fault now. As you can see, I took a picture of it. I rung the Land Rover dealer and they just actually said to me, yeah, very, very common fault, do a hard reset on the battery. But as you know, we have actually already done that. So I'm going to need to take it over there and get it looked at. They're saying it is speaker one on the computer there, but the bloke in part said, well, I don't know what part that is. So it's going to take a bit more research, I'm afraid. I think that it's going to be a bit of a fail for this one today. Bit of a fail there, guys, on the Range Rover, and I'm really, really gutted that I couldn't get it done in this video. But of course, I will keep you updated as soon as I've done it. Our new car, our used car that we've bought, I've actually purchased it from a friend, and it's been sat on his driveway for the last week while I've needed to get a bit of time to get this Evoque sorted out and get that light sorted out. And it's kind of pointing at that module. I found one of those modules on eBay, worst way, I will buy that, and it was really cheap. But also, I am leaning towards the battery on that car's 2015. Is it the battery? So he said to me that it was fluctuating a little bit when he had it running. He was doing the testing on it. So I've changed that start-stop battery. I'll change that other battery as well. I just want to get it resolved, really, without going to the dealer, because it is £180 an hour. And I don't want to spend loads of money on that car, not now it's going. And I've sold it for a reasonable price to somebody. That car's not salvage. I did buy it from a garage forecourt myself, so I've sold it for reasonable money for what it is. So that is going to be the end of today's video. We did get quite a lot done. The little Polo's done now. I'll run around, do a few more miles in that, bed the brakes in, and I'll be chucking that on Instagram for sale. I did notice quite a lot of people do keep sending me various cars and links and bits and pieces on Instagram. Guys, if you have got a car for sale, drop us your phone number. If we're interested, I will definitely give you a call and get back to you. Thank you everybody for watching. Like, subscribe and share. If you enjoyed the video, do give it a thumbs up, and we'll see you later in the week for the next one.